The last thing I wanted to become was the next Mustang crash, and it happened. What's going on, guys? Logan here for a new video, and it sucks I had to make a video on this, but as you can tell from the title of the video, I crashed my car going to the late model restoration Cars and Coffee yesterday. And it sucks because we weren't even like 45 minutes away from Waco, and pretty much how it happened was I was going, all of us were actually going, it was me and my Mustang club, Wild Side Stangs, but we're all going down I-45 and it starts raining, so you know, we all slow down. The speed limit I believe is like 70 or 75, so we slow down to 60. So pretty much we're all driving, we're almost there, we're all on this walkie-talkie app, so we're all talking, communicating as far as if there's any bumps in the road, policemen, you know, different things, you know, what lane we need to shift into. So we're all talking. So we're driving and we're running through several patches of rain. I mean, some areas it's completely dry, some areas it's soaked, but you know, we slow down because there's a ton of rain and we're all in Mustangs. I believe there was 10 or 12 Mustangs just in our little pack, and we were going to get together with the rest of the Wild Side Stangs over towards Waco. I was driving very careful. I didn't even have my radio on. I was just driving on all the dry parts of the road. The last thing I wanted to become was the next Mustang crash, and it happened. I'm staying careful, not doing anything crazy. I don't even have the radio on. I am just focused on the road because it's a little bit wet outside. And we get to a certain part of the road where a bridge goes over a creek. Nothing crazy about that. We've already gone over a ton of those leading up to that point. And when I go over it, there's a little tiny bump at the very beginning of the bridge. And on the other side of that bump was a huge puddle. Well, the second I hit that puddle, I started hydroplaning. I was looking directly at the wall. I was going 60 miles an hour in a 75, so I was going a little bit under the speed limit. So I hit the wall head on going 60 miles an hour. I don't know if I spun out or not. It all happened so quickly, but in the matter of 3 seconds, I was in the middle of the median, and all I was thinking was, you know, what the heck just happened? Because I was driving safe. I knew what happened, but it was just, I was almost in shock. I was in disbelief that I was like, wow, I crashed my car. You know, I've been driving since I was 15 years old. I'm 23 now. Never even a fender bender, and then this happens. Now, as far as the damages, I was extremely lucky to get away with only this. As you can see, I'm gonna need a new bumper altogether. My headlight's cracked right here, so I'm gonna put a piece of tape right here just so no water gets in here, because my LED in there actually still works. But my fender right here got dented in a little bit, so I'm gonna need a new fender. And then my hood right here, it did get scraped a little bit, but I might be able to get away with just painting this right here, getting a new bumper, a new fender. If all that lines up correctly, fix that little gap right there, then I would be so happy. And honestly, when it first happened, I was thinking, oh crap, I'm gonna need a tow truck and I'm not gonna be able to drive my car, because how hard I hit that wall, I was assuming that I messed up my radiator and that my wheels, some wheel would be punctured or something. Amazingly, it wasn't. And honestly, I'm just so surprised that the damage wasn't worse than what it is. And on top of that right there, my horn's messed up. Listen to this. That is a wussy sounding horn right there. Now, as far as my Boss lower valence, I think I'm gonna be able to take this off and put it on the new bumper I get, because yeah, it's scratched right here. Maybe if I get some very high grit sandpaper or something, I'll be able to get all that out, smooth it out right there. And I just really like the way this looks. It's super expensive, well, for me. So I'm gonna take that off, put it on my new car, or the new bumper, and I'll see how it looks. And I didn't realize it at the time, but the little insert right here, the plastic insert, it fell out as soon as I hit the wall. It was on that bridge, and one of the Wild Side Stangs members, his wife, walked back there and got it and gave it to me. So big shout out to her. Thank you so much. Now, right when this happened, the true colors of Wild Side Stangs came out, and they all stopped right there on the highway. Some of them who were a little bit too far forward, they made a big U-turn like Andy. He came back in his white Bosch 302, and he came back. I was thinking that I wouldn't be able to get my car out, because I'm not even exaggerating. My rear wheels, all the way up to right here, was covered in mud. I was sinking into the ground, and it was, I wasn't convinced that I'd be able to get my car out, but when Andy showed up, he saw everything, and with all 12 of us, we got to work and got my car out. It's cool because we found a rug, we got this, you know, just all this debris and everything around the, you know, on the highway. We were shoving it all underneath the tires, we were digging out all the mud, making a little path for a stream for all the water to drain out. So in about 30 minutes, we were able to get my car unstuck, and I told them, you know, go ahead and go to the Waco show, and I just went ahead and head home. But it was just awesome that all of them, you know, stopped, checked on me, made sure I was okay. And then after that, you know, I slowed them down for about 45 minutes, because remember, we have this late model restoration show out there in Waco, but we all stopped at the gas station, and everyone was just making sure I was all right, looking at all the damage on my car. And I just thought it was awesome that all those people stopped, helped me out, and, you know, took time away from their day, took time away from the late model restoration show, and helped me get my car out. You know, they saved me a few $100 from getting a tow truck driver out there, and And actually, that's what I told them to do. You know, right when it happened, when all of them came up, you know, they made sure I was okay. And I told them, guys, I don't want to ruin your day. You know, just go ahead, keep going. And, you know, they said no, they're going to help push me out. So the Wild Side Stangs is an awesome Mustang club. We're definitely growing in size. I believe we have a San Antonio chapter, a Houston chapter, and I don't know what other chapters we have, but awesome Mustang club. Now, for everybody that helped me out, I'm going to put their name and their Instagram down in the description. Go give them a follow, go like all their pictures or whatnot, and let them know that Bubba sent you, because it was just so awesome that, you know, they took time out of their day just to help me, you know, push my car out. And it was not easy pushing my car out, because like I was saying, my rear tire was buried halfway in mud, and I was just getting no traction at all on that side. But little by little, over about 30 minutes, we were able to push it out, and I drove it back home. Well guys, I crashed going to the late model restoration show. These awesome guys at Wild Side Stangs helped me out. They're awesome. The hydroplane ended up hitting a little embankment right there on the side, went into a ditch, but everyone over here at Wild Side Stangs, they stopped, helped push me out, saved me a tow. So I definitely owe them. Now, as far as my car, it drives perfectly. There is no steering wheel shake. I'm not drifting to one side. There's no shaking in my wheel. So I am just amazed that with how hard I hit that wall, that right there is all I got. So like I said earlier, fender, headlight, bumper, possibly hood. I mean, if I can get away with, you know, keeping this hood, I'm gonna do it for right now, because as most of y'all know, my house flooded 10 feet during Harvey. So just imagine that. The water was, I believe, about right there. Didn't quite get to the second story, but everything below that right there, ruined. And drywall is not cheap at all of my appliances and everything. But late model restoration, Tyler at Late Model Restoration, when he heard what happened to my car, how I wrecked going to a show, he reached out to me, and they're gonna give me a gift card to help me pay for some of the damage for this. So Late Model Restoration, big thank you to you. And for any of my subscribers, if you don't shop at Late Model Restoration, go shop at them. They're awesome. They're a Mustang only site, and their customer service is amazing. Now, one thing that I think was crazy about this entire ordeal was that part of the road has to be some kind of hazard issue there, because after I crashed, one of the Wild Side Stang members, he came over and he said, yeah, there's a truck, you know, over in the ditch 40 feet down, you know, just up the road. So it's obvious that, you know, that bridge right there has some issues. And I am lucky that I went off the left side of the road versus the right side, because yeah, there was a 40-foot drop down that hill, and if I would have went down that side, who knows what would have happened to me. Maybe my car would have flipped or whatnot, and it could have ended a lot worse than what it did. Now, as far as the things that contributed to the wreck and weren't the sole issue for the wreck, now, I personally think that, you know, that bump and then the little puddle right there, that's what caused the wreck. But the thing that contributed, one is my drag radials. I do have Nitto NT555Rs, so, I mean, drag radials on rain, I mean, it's not the best, but I've driven through a ton of rain with these drag radials, no problem at all. And actually, I've driven through worse rain than that on my drag radials, so I personally don't think that was a main issue. I mean, I know that was something that contributed to it, because street tires would be a little bit better, but at the end of the day, drag radials aren't too great in water, so that's one thing that contributed to it. And another thing that contributed to it was that I was really low on gas. I had, I think, 30 miles left to empty. I was gonna stop at a gas station and get some gas, and I know what some of y'all are thinking, you know, how in the world is gas gonna help me stay planted to the ground? But my car has, I think, a 13 or 14 gallon tank, and you have to imagine 13 to 14 gallons of gasoline, that's about 100 pounds, because gasoline weighs about 7 pounds per gallon. So if there was about 100 pounds in my rear end, I mean, that could have kept me more planted to the ground. So who knows? I mean, like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, it is my fault for this crash, but there were just several attributing factors to it. But guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and please subscribe. And as always, have a great day.